Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. So, I had some thoughts about how we women can strive to be good grandmothers and how we can help our daughters and our daughter-in-laws with their pregnancy and postpartum, and how this is vital because marriages are tested greatly within those first 2 years, and permanent resentment can build between the couples. Okay? So, if women are initiating divorce, that means that that woman really wants to get out of that relationship. Okay? And women have a lot to lose. They risk their life to give the man a child. They will bear the permanent marks of motherhood on their bodies, stretch marks, whatever. They suffered with the recovery process. And finding a man who will want to be a stepfather and be a safe stepfather, it gets increasingly difficult with the more children you have. So you're gonna be working to provide for all your kids if you end up leaving that man. And the child support only lasts so long, and it's not always a huge amount, and it's still not enough, really. And living on Section 8 housing and the projects and food stamps and WIC and all that's not really sustainable, and you don't really have a good quality of life. And so women, before they divorce, some of them may think that the pain of being with the person is worth all of that, right? So they don't want to be with that person. They decide to go and endure poverty and living below the poverty line and leaving their middle class status and outsourcing their parenting to others while they go to work. So I was thinking, what's some solutions to this, right? What causes some women to fall out of love with their husbands? And for many in America, at least, there's a lot of broken homes. There's not a lot of support systems, okay? So if you don't, and also people move away stupidly from their family members if their family members are good, right? We're losing that as a culture. Put grandma in an old folks home, put grandpa away, disrespect your elders. Don't let your mother-in-law tell you anything about parenting. You know, it's all about your way or the highway, and the concept of it takes a village is gone by the wayside. So we need some strategies for women to stay together with their husbands. And I was thinking about how if we're good grandmas, we have to help our daughter-in-laws and our daughters to be taken care of. And I think that would be a great goal for us women as our children age and we hope that Allah blesses us with grandchildren, that we should perfect our cooking skills so that we can make sure to make healthy comfort foods and anything really that the mama wants while she recovers. And if she likes, and if you are able, you know, cook her food at home, control what she eats, because eating out too much exposes yourself to a lot of food poisoning, and just the food isn't really made with love, and it can be quite costly. So if we foster the environment of cooking for and loving, right? Expressing love through cooking for our daughter-in-laws and our daughters, this can help those women feel at ease, which will help them to grow a healthy baby. High-stress moms grow smaller babies, and malnutrition also harms them, and some women get abortions because they feel like they won't be supported. So if your son is a degenerate and he pumps and dumps a girl and gets her pregnant, and you find out about it, even if your son is a total scumbag, like one of these red pill manosphere passport bros, and they leave her high and dry, but she decides to keep the baby, I think it's incumbent upon the grandmas to support that woman and be involved in the child's life, even if her son is a piece of garbage, because you want to ensure that your grandchildren live. And that is a good deed. So, tending to her during her pregnancy and her postpartum is wonderful, regardless of the behavior of your son. Okay? And she might, so many women, if we start doing this, right, in our old age, they may not be used to any type of female support or compassion. So, they might at first be averted to it, but I think we shouldn't give up. Don't give up. And hopefully, by us doing that, we can repair the broken family units in our society, and we can hold ourselves to really good standard. That creates a lot of healing for people. Because they say, which is being reported, that women don't want to have as many kids because they're not supported. So, if we know we have broken families, and we know that there are agendas in society, the way in which people push pornography, drugs, cheating, and all this stuff to cause the breakup of the home, we as grandmas have to try to be the glue of the family. We have to kind of be the wise female leaders within the clan, within the tribe, right? And so, if we have a very fulfilling role, it's also less likely that someone within the family, inshallah, that they won't put us in an old folks' home. Okay? It's better to die free in your garden, surrounded by your grandchildren, at home in your bed, anything other than being in a medical bed in a facility with cigarette-smelling nurses and burnt-out TikTok dancing nurses, right? You don't want to be in that dystopic hell. And the cheaper the facility, the cheaper and low quality of people. There might be a couple good in there, but it's a gamble to go in those places. And if we want to protect ourselves, we have to be willing to give to others. So if we give to our families, hopefully someone in the family will reciprocate that and not put us in our old folks' home. And so if we want to be good grandmothers and who don't want to end up in old folks' home, it's incumbent upon us to be a support system. And how can we support people in our family? For one, pregnancy, postpartum. That is when women are the most vulnerable psychologically, physically, and spiritually. It is quite tragic how many men never talk about that issue. I don't hear any of the manosphere gurus who are giving men life advice. You know, they say if your wife doesn't give you intimacy in 3 months, divorce her, break up, cheat. They give horrendous advice. Okay? They're never going to talk about real issues that come up in marriage. And they talk about, okay, have a bunch of kids, but they never mention the effect of pregnancy and the postpartum period on a woman, and how if she doesn't have a proper support system, how that increases with the stress due to sleep deprivation. Some men, they stay up all night, working hard. They think that's the same type of sleep deprivation. It isn't. Because you could go to bed, and knowing that you could go to bed, it makes the sleep different than when you can't go to bed because that baby absolutely needs you and is crying and is preventing you from sleeping. It's a total different reaction. You know, moms hearing their baby cry, you feel your milk let down, your face feels hot. You can cry, you can get emotional. Some women get angry, but they have patience. It's more intense for the mother. She has a blood bond with that child. a special spiritual bond with that child. So when that child cries, it's not the same on her when she's tired than you being on your computer all night. It's not the same thing. And the weight of the drowsiness, because you're so stimulated, you're so needed, and your body's working so hard to recover and provide nourishment for yourself and for the baby, and tending to everyone else's needs, that the mother's batteries just get so drained. And so that type of exhaustion, even if she puts a bunch of makeup on her face and perfume and is doing the fake smile, she carries it around in a weight, which a man cannot understand unless he has communication with females in his family who are honest and talk about the struggles women face. And so, if we are good grandmas, the men in the family will see women need support during this period. Okay? There's a lot of, I don't want to say charlatans. You can admire some of them, but they're women who are like, the baby's out, it's time to go to work and go to the gym, and they hide how much others are raising the children, right? And then the men see that and are like, that woman looks like a supermodel. Meanwhile, she got plastic surgery. She's not breastfeeding. You know, she's giving the kid to a nanny, to anyone who will take it, just so that she can get back to posting booty pics on Instagram. She's not necessarily a good mom, right? Her being hot and going back to work doesn't mean she's being a good mom. And the woman who maybe is still a bit pudgy and she's tired and exhausted and isn't all dolled up, that doesn't mean she's being a bad mom. She's actually showing signs of putting the child first before herself. A good mom puts the child first, and the children come first before the male phallus. If a woman is getting all dolled up and she's looking all prime and fine and her kid is all raggedy because she's so worried about her husband, the man has decided that he is more important than the baby. And he's teaching the woman that being a bad mom is good because she's putting him first and his sexual and eye candy needs first before the well-being of the baby. And if he hires her help, he's also letting her know it's okay not to be a full-time mom, and you are just supposed to be a doll, when in reality, it's not that hard for 2 years to kind of have some patience. The woman has to have patience with her physical body and with recovery, so a man can have patience with his horniness, right? Or his selfishness, his need to have the attention, right? And so by grandmas stepping in and helping, the young boys in the family grow up with the example of a woman needs support after she has a child, and hopefully, inshallah, he will then, when he gets married, have more mercy and empathy towards his wife if she's struggling. Because a man can marry his dream woman, and it's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if she gets touched with an extreme medical or mental difficulty. And a man should not throw in the towel and start cheating on his wife and spouting red pill nonsense because he can't handle not getting booty 5 times a week while she's barely holding on to her mental health. And the fact that so many women self-harm, hurt their babies, or struggle in silence, or actually just resent their husbands and can't wait to divorce them, it's alarming, you know? It's quite alarming that they don't know about that and isn't talked about more. So I think a solution to one angle of divorce is to be the women in the family who help keep the couples together and happy. Okay? Because permanent resentment is real. These two people can come together, be in love, butterflies, baby shows up, you know, the dynamics of the relationship change. Okay? She's gonna see how this man steps up to the plate. Is he only worried about money? He's not worried about how she's holding up? Is he offering her relief? There's stuff to be had there. If a woman has support from her mom and her mother-in-law through those 2 years, she's going to be stronger, inshallah. It would be a beautiful thing if both the grandmas, like, hey, you do the cooking this week, I'll do the cleaning. Okay, we work together, we have communication, we're supporting the mama. You know, let's bring her some treats, let's get some flowers for the table, make it beautiful. You know, let's make sure sheets are clean. We got diapers stocked, we got everything locked and loaded. Imagine the love that woman would feel. Asking the mother, how are you? You know, how is the baby? What do you need from me? Being caregiving. Now, if we are stuffed away in the old folks' home, or off on a cruise, or the daughter-in-law or the daughter moves so far away, that'll be harder. So if we start bringing everyone back together again, and actually caring about our bloodlines and having more humanity, this helps to keep Shaitan away from separating the family, and the woman is less likely to be fearful of having more children. That's another important thing. It's quite cruel for a man to keep getting a woman pregnant when he doesn't support her at all mentally and emotionally, and she has no support system, and she just doesn't open her mouth, and she's just secretly wishing for death. I do wonder what the case will be on Judgment Day for men like that, you know. But it's important for women to communicate, but there's a lot of women who are fearful to express their true emotions. They want to kind of mask it all, and so that the man's ego and his entitlement and his sense of self-esteem is like really high. Because there are some men who are like, I'm gonna have this many wives and I'm gonna have 10 kids each one. He's not thinking about being a good grandfather. It's usually just about a male flex of how you got submissive women and stuff like that. But the quality of time he'll need to spend with each child and supporting the wives, that should come into question. And if you're one husband and you have 5 kids, or you have like more than 2, spending time with your wife and your grandchildren is going to be really important. But you also have to be at work. So, to fill that void, grandparents should be there. And grandma specifically should be making memories and bonding with the daughter-in-law. If the grandma bonds with the daughter-in-law, this will also help her not to cheat. I really do think that if the woman feels incorporated into the family, she won't feel so tempted to betray the family. It's, you know, you see if you get what I mean. Like, if we help the women in pregnancy and postpartum, I think that will also help the daughter-in-law to see, like, his mom helped me so much, will be part of her memory for life. And hopefully that'll soften her heart to where she won't want to go cheat, right? Because if the son is bad, he's an arrogant asshole, or he's stingy, or he's just cold-hearted, or, you know, is a red pill manosphere scumbag, then she might be thinking, oh, I'm gonna slim down real quick and I gotta go fishing. You know, I gotta go out there and get a new man. And the paranoia and fear and doubts that she will have will take her eyeballs off the relationship, off the well-being of the children, and on to how can I catch a new man. So if we grandmas are there to support, I think this can help a lot of women feel at ease. It takes a lot of humility for grandmas to help, and it also means that the daughter-in-law should be willing to be advised and to be helped, and not to think they can do it all themselves and then get burnt out and then get on antidepressants, right? So every time we grandmas visit, like, we're bringing something with us. You know, how are the grandchildren? Like, visit their schools. Like, just be a support system. The safest place for the baby should be with the mama and with us as grandmas, right? Don't be putting that kid in the daycare when grandmama can be here. The baby can be in a little basket while grandma's making dinner for mama for later. Bringing over a nice casserole, a nice lasagna. Something to help the mom's life be easier, right? It's also showing the mother-in-law what she owes to her grandchildren, and we can change the culture that way. The future isn't going to be sex robots, daycares, and all of that. It should be us grandmothers taking back our roles. To be a woman is to be a grandma as well. And we can't let men doing drag take away what it means to be a woman. And to be a woman is to be a great-grandmother. In the family, a great-grandmother is an asset. So we need to eat healthy, gain knowledge, have cooking skills, nurturing skills, all of that, so that we can help our families. That is something that we can bring to the table in our old age, is being the nurturing grandma we were always meant to be, to do better than our broken families. And that is an achievement that LinkedIn and these garbage feminist PhD CEO boss babes won't understand. So we don't need their approval. Being a great grandmother, being present, being active in your daughter-in-law's life, these are all wonderful things. And they don't come with accolades. They don't come with something you put on your resume. But on Judgment Day, the good deeds you did for your family will be accounted for, and that is worth more than the bonus you earned from your job or the sales you made for the company. Let me know what you think. I'm more and more thinking about how I can be a good grandma. And then who knows how it will turn out. None of us know, but I do think it's important to discuss it. Put it into our minds that aging is not bad. Too many now are focused on looking hot forever, acting like Madonna, twerking on stage, and not actually being a reclined, wise, steady-minded grandma, right? We have to get back to that, I think, and hopefully we can bring that culture back to America, because it is fading. It is fading. And so, by being good grandmothers, we can help resentment not build in the young couple's marriage, and inshallah, that will help lower the possibility of the divorce rate within the family, because the goal is to help the couple get through that tumultuous period and be bonded together. That's one of my solutions. Let me know what you think, okay? If you'd like to join my blog and support the channel, it's www.subscribestar.com/MilhanArchive. Hope to see you there.